Another thing, actually, we'll probably leave this in the beginning of the recording because it's funny as fuck. Did you watch the Mikey Musumeci fight?
No, not yet.
So the commentator, he rear naked chokes Imanari, which was great. And then when he was describing the choke, he was like, Darth Riggatoni has the sub in. I was like, what the hell are they going on about Darth Riggatoni here? So I googled it, and it's his legit nickname. And on one of his Instagram posts, he goes, they call me Darth Riggatoni.
That's a bit of a reach for a nickname. Like, your nickname's supposed to be like shorter than your actual...
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a story behind it, there's got to be some relevance behind it.
There's got to be like a pasta dish that he's cooked and that he's like named it himself.
The
like, now you can call me this.
I wonder whether it's like a reference to pasta where, I don't know, because rigatoni's quite a robust pasta, isn't it? It's not like a spaghetti where it's all kind of like draped over. Anyway, I don't think we'll be having Mikey Musumeci's turned into our favourite topic of conversation.
He's replaced Ashton Kutcher
and Craig Jones.
So now the Mikey, you're going to have to get very specific with your anatomy now, so you're placing when you get into it, placing your knee over the liver.
I'll leave the detailed explanation to you. I'll barely be able to string a sentence together, mate. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. We're going to leave that whole introduction in, so you just had to listen to us if you've got this far anyway without clicking the video off. Well done for you. You can leave a comment, what's your favourite pasta? Maybe Musumeci can get a new nickname, or maybe we can call Sai the Darth Spaghetti or something
Darth
like
Ravioli.
that. Darth Ravioli. We are going to look at today something that I've been working on over the past couple of months and part of my game over previous years as well. It's looking at some of the basics on detail of control of a knee on belly position. So we'll kind of get straight into it. Everybody's familiar with the knee on belly position. We've talked about it here before, and I'll just explain through the details of what we're going for. So, when we're drilling this, you can be either really nice to your partner or not. I'm going to be nice and light and put not a lot of pressure on here, but normally we'd be stacked up and putting a lot of pressure down on our opponent, but we're going to be nice on this occasion. When we're in gi, what a really good tool to use is for controlling this knee on belly position and stopping your opponent from being able to shrimp away is grabbing the belt. Because what we do when we grab the belt is limit and control the ability of movement that he's got with his hip as well. What we can also do is grab the collar when we've got the gi on as well. So we've got two really good points of control, and it makes it extra nasty as well. If you want to put a load of pressure down on the top, you can kind of use them like a bow and drive in here as well. So I've been playing with this concept a little bit in no-gi and seeing how we can make that work. And we're using the control of the far pin on the wrist to kind of set that up. So usually they'll be fighting the knee here, and what we can do is use two of our hands on one to control this hand to the mat straight away, and we're getting immediately a good block at the hip. So straight away what we're getting from this just in of itself is an inability of Sai to move his hip. I can still put as much or as little pressure as I want from the top here, but I've really limited his ability to move the hip and clear this knee with his hand. If he was on here and a workable defence is to start pushing the knee, yes, we can set that up for some arm drags and start setting up kimuras later, but a pretty basic defence that most people will do is try and push this knee and just simply try and shrimp out to the side and get you off with the pressure that way. They're looking to alleviate that pressure. So as he's doing that, I'm going to use 2-on-1 control to bring that to the mat. Once I've got him pinned in and I'm bringing it as tight into the hip as I can, lots of pressure down. And I'm also just going to cup in behind the trap as well for a bit of extra control. So I've got his head and I've got the bottom end of his hips. So we're controlling two ends of the spine here. The other benefit of using this grip is that it allows us, if he does start to shrimp and get a little bit away from us, if he's got strong hips and he starts to turn in and push on the knee, I've still got control here. I can pin it to his body and we can switch straight away into setting up the kimura trap from the top, and we've got our finishes that we've talked about from there before. But from a really basic fundamental control position of how can I control this person on the top while I decide what I want to do and give me an option to go into an immediate submission, we're going to, as soon as he starts framing on the wrist or on the knee, and even if he doesn't, go on a 2-on-1 control, straight away take that out and basically put my weight on. So I've got 3 points of contact here, hit my hand on his wrist, my knee right in the centre of his sternum. Depending on how nice I want to be to him, I'm going to be nasty or nice and shallow with this. And I've got a good base with this leg as well. Third point of control on him, which isn't on the floor, can either be around the base of the neck or cupping around the back of the neck as well. But if we were in gi, we'd probably be using the belt and the collar. So just a little bit of an idea of a play on a gi technique that actually transfers over quite well into no gi.
Yeah.
And also gives you an immediate setup into a submission if your opponent gives the right reaction.
think a good little thing you do there as well is you do. I think we both do it by just habit now. It's controlling more than just the wrist. So you got 2 fingers on the hand and 2 fingers on the wrist, which makes you feel heavier. It's much more difficult to try and almost muscle through a kind of a post when they've got your hand covered as well, as opposed to just your wrist, because there's more than one joint involved. It just weakens the whole chain.
The other thing as well, which is difficult to see from that angle on the view that the camera can see, is the control on the other hip. So we kind of latch over the near hip to us with like the boot or the laces at the thigh as well. So we've got kind of control over both directions. We're blocking them from coming in. It's difficult for them to turn into us anyway. We've got the block on the hip now with the pin, or if it's ski, we may be controlling the belt. Sometimes even we can get a sleeve grip and pin even stronger there if it's a gi technique as well. So it does work really well in both, and I like the ability to go from that straight into an attack. Because oftentimes with that you'll catch that in the scramble, because it's such an uncomfortable position. Like we talked about before, make the wrestling that you do nasty and make the person underneath want to move. They're going to start squirming, they're going to be looking for a bit of release, and as soon as they start to flail a limb, you've got control over it and you can wrap it up for a Kimura. We've got Darces, we've got straight arm locks, arm bars,
loads you can
loads of stuff, really dominant position.
So yeah, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and drop us a comment below with anything else that you want us to cover in here, and also what you think of this week's technique and our previous techniques.
And also what size new nickname is going to be. I personally like the Darth Ravioli. So go and find us on Instagram, the Grapplers Academy. We've got the Darth Riggatoni, the Darth Ravioli, I'm getting confused myself, the Bonafide PT. We'll see you next week.